we have a couple of babysitters on the street who are college age. So it doesn't feel like in my brain, am a teen mom. That I don't register
I'm a
myself as
teen
being,
mom.
I like register myself as being 30 something years old with one child and another
You
on
were
the way.
10
That
years into
doesn't
your career
compute.
when you got pregnant.
I don't know why. Like it just doesn't compute for me. Like when we went on a date night for our anniversary a couple weeks ago and we left Teddy with a babysitter, and I just had the weirdest sensation leaving a child with a babysitter and like going out. I don't know. I just am like, I'm the babysitter. I'm supposed to be. I'm not like I am not the mom leaving the house and leaving you pizza
I'm
money,
still the
although we don't do that
babysitter.
anymore. Yeah, I'm like, I'm still the babysitter. It just hasn't, for some reason, I'm just forever young. I don't know. But yeah, whenever the girls come over and they like, I don't know, they like something I'm doing or they follow me on Instagram and they like say something to one of my stories, I'm like, me?
So,
Really?
not to do this aside of like wanting young people to think you're cool again, but also, so they have like these days off so like once a week or once a session, the like 18 to 22-year-old counselor staff members, all of us get like a day off where you're off essentially from like 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. So the big thing for these like young staff members is like they get an Airbnb and like that's where they can go hang out and like have the them time without like feeling like they're adults and like together. And of course there's all the drama, who's in what house, did everybody pay, who's organizing it, and then they all wanted off the 4th of July, so
Mm.
Saturday night. And I think they're now just realizing how expensive Airbnbs can be, and they're dropping like $600. People are still like paying $50 to sleep on a couch. But so all of that aside, in the ridiculousness of this, I just want to be invited. Like I would not go. I would not stay. Like I would maybe go and like drink with the of age people and like have a quick beer with them. But like I want to feel like I'm cool enough to be invited to their like mini rager off
You
campus.
are cool enough. Off
No.
campus. Off campus. I'm dead. That's so good. Oh, take me all the way back. I feel like talking about teenage girls is a perfect transition to talking about Taylor Swift
Honestly,
because I just feel like, did you listen to any? I mean, you were not a teenage girl, but you were a teenage boy at the time when Taylor Swift became the vibe. Well, probably around the time of her initial albums.
my Taylor Swift knowledge really has gone up in the past like 3 years. I mean, I will say it was not cool to like Taylor Swift
Yeah.
as a teenage boy, shockingly or not.
Are you
Like
sure?
unless you could really own it. I mean, I don't know what's cool now. I still lose every time I try to figure it out. Also, new terms all the kids are saying is tough. It's like, does that photo make me look tough? Am I looking tough? Or hard? Like hard less so. And then
Mm.
clip farming is another thing I've recently, which is them
What does
doing
that
things
mean?
hoping to get like video taped so they could be like on highlight reels or on social media. So clip farming is like trying to get like your 5 seconds of like viral whatever, or just like your few
Like on a
moments
jumbotron or like,
on any platform of video. It's like clip farming is
okay.
like you're egging on a camera to like, or doing a lot of stuff hoping that you're just like your whatever highlight reel is getting published in whatever regards.
Huh. It
Yeah,
almost
new
sounds like
terms.
when people would be like in our face during a live shot or like behind us
Hmm.
while you're doing a live shot. It reminds me of that. Like when they would be taunting you behind you during a live shot.
That's clip
That's
farming.
clip farming.
Yep.
That's obnoxious. Tell these kids to chill out.
So the Taylor Swift of it all
Yes, the
was
Taylor
not that
Swift of it
cool.
all.
I knew it. I loved it. Reputation era came. I think that came. Taylor Swift definitely wasn't cool for everybody. But now we're back. And when Taylor Swift came to town for the Eras tour, as a local reporter, that was we did hurricane level coverage. Like
Oh, I
for
bet.
like especially in Nashville when it was the Eras tour start, how businesses are prepping, how they're dealing, how hotels are doing. We had a Taylor Swift forecast that was completely Taylor Swift themed that we did hear from Donna Kelce, Taylor and the family loved to watch. Like the things that we did anytime. So I can't imagine this like, is it even okay? Stupid question. Is she even getting married at Madison Square Garden? Or like, do we have that confirmed in any regard? Or are we all just like,
That
this makes sense?
is That is the $1 million question, Adam and Sir. Is she or is she not getting married? So the whole reason we're talking about Taylor Swift right now is because there has been this speculation over the course of the last how many weeks that she and Travis Kelce are getting married at Madison Square Garden in the middle of New York City in this big July 4th bash, which would be so crazy and so Taylor Swift on so many levels. And let me also, for context, be abundantly clear. I am not a Swiftie. Adam has produced me. He knows that I am not a Swiftie. He
It's
knows
true.
that I do my best to talk about Taylor Swift themed things. I very much am of the mindset she's an incredibly talented musician.
Okay.
She's an amazing entrepreneur.
I
She
didn't know
also
the
has done
4th
so
of
much
July.
good.
Okay, we
Yeah.
don't know about the 4th of July. Yes, Taylor Swift's
Or
amazing.
like,
Swifties on the
yes,
internet,
she's
don't
amazing.
come for us.
Don't
Not
come for
enough
us.
if you even watch us. She's great. She's a national treasure. She's her own business.
She
She's
is.
a billionaire,
She is.
etc. Brian West, Taylor Swift reporter, USA Today. Shout out, great guy, great friend. Done some really cool work with that being.
That's right. They hired a full like reporter as like a Taylor Swift beat. I forgot about that.
And it was a whole drama because he's a guy, but he was a gay guy, and like how much of a fan could he be versus how much of just like a reporter. It was a whole really interesting discourse.
Yeah.
But wait, married? Sorry, like if there's any
Yes.
royal wedding equivalent, it's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wanting to get married on the 4th of July in one of the largest, most iconic American venues. Also,
Yeah.
meanwhile, on America's 250th, completely like overshadowing everything that like the actual government has been doing.
Yeah. Yes. So obviously everybody was like, shit is right. Everybody was like, is she like, wouldn't she just get married in Newport, Rhode Island, which is where she has a house? By the way, Newport, stunning. I'm actually going for in a couple weeks for a wedding, not Taylor Swift's wedding, but I will be there in a couple weeks for a wedding. And everybody thought like logically she would get married there. There's a specific hotel. There was some rumor that maybe she bought out a bride for like the date she wanted, whatever.
Bought out a bride. She
Bought out a bride. She bought a bride. So now it apparently they have rented out, or her team has rented out. There's so much. I still don't even really understand. Like, is it confirmed that her team rented out MSG? It's rented out for the weekend, and there's been setup for something. So is it just like a Taylor pop-up, or is it a Taylor wedding? Everyone is like very
it's
confused.
New York. Has no one like pulled permits and seen like?
So there is a permit. They did pull permits. So I think that's the like there have been permits pulled. It's clear that MSG is being
like. This is what you do. Just pull the permits.
Just pull the permit. I had to pull up this article because there's been so many like little. This is why it's confusing. There's been so many teeny breadcrumb articles, and especially when you talk about celebrity news and you talk about like Page Six and TMZ and like all of these tabloid style outlets, they just kind of cherry pick little things, and you're getting half confirmed information, speculation. Someone close to Taylor's team said XYZ, whatever. So New York Magazine put out like a big, what do we actually know? Every question about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding answered article, because everyone's so freaking confused.
That's
We're like,
it reaches
what's
peak
happening?
Internet when you need explainer articles for current events happening in real time. That's like what we did for like the wars in the Middle East. But I'm glad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank God we're covering the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift wedding as we would war in the Middle East.
Do you know what? The president's going to tweet about it, I'm sure. So like,
yes,
it's do you know what? It's news. So what did we learn about what's real and not real from that?
We have learned that honestly, not a whole hell of a lot. It's a lot of question. Like it's mostly questions. So this is my favorite one.
Wasn't it supposed to be an article about answers?
Yes. So it's like the question is, do we know who's officiating? This is the answer. No. Those several options, like Colorado's governor, also the Kansas City mayor, Ryan Seacrest has been floated out there, and Flava Flav. They've all thrown their hats into the ring. What?
Okay, no one has nominated
the
mayor of Nashville, Freddie O'Connell. That is Taylor's primary residence. She did vote for him as mayor, probably, likely. So, you know what? Maybe some Nashville love. You jerks in the Northeast.
You jerks. Yeah, it's jerks in the Northeast. Just, we're just tough cookies up here. But, it's crazy because I feel like everything in Taylor Swift fandom is always looped into lore. Like there's always some lore, or like, is she dropping a breadcrumb? She likes the ruse. She likes a game. And so
When
everyone's
you
like, is
are
she just
that
like
rich,
renting it out? Yeah. I
just
mean, if you
play
have
with the emotions and feelings of people that want to jump down random rabbit holes with you. But yes, she's going to have this wedding, whatever it
Mhm.
is. It's going to be a big deal. Local news stories are going to be reporters MOSing outside these venues, whatever public aspect is into it, whatever fan interaction. We're going to be tracking private plane
Oh yeah.
movements, like all of the good stuff.
The
And
thought about
I
like,
couldn't right
no,
now.
couldn't. The thought of being, think about that, a local reporter in New York City. And there are many MMJs, multimedia journalists in New York City. Could you imagine in a heat wave
The
trying to
resources.
MOS the hell out of Taylor Swift's alleged wedding?
And like again, people click on it and therefore it is news. We are talking about it, so therefore it is interesting. But I just know that it's just not gonna be. But again, she's making it a spectacle.
Hmm.
She's doing it. She talked on to all the talk shows right before about how
Yeah.
everybody was invited, blah blah blah. So do you know what? If
Yeah.
you're
She was like,
gonna
if I've
be,
met you and worked with you, oh, you're coming to the wedding. And it's like, so you're going to invite everybody?
and
There
I
was an
the
estimate of
answer
like
is
a
MSG.
thousand people. Yeah. There's an estimate of like 1,000 people. So she, I mean, yeah, MSG is like probably a good spot. There was also in this article, there was a lot of reporting about the types of food and decor that people were seeing being rolled up. So like garden themed type decor, fairy tale. So they're like, is she going to get her fairy tale garden, whatever, inside MSG? And then I thought one of the funniest pieces, and we'll leave it at this, was how the food being rolled in was like basic shit, like chicken, and like, and they're like, this just furthers the idea that Travis Kelce like eats like like a picky adult child. And I'm like, could you imagine if Taylor Swift is serving like chicken nuggets at her
Maybe it's
fairy
basketball
tale themed
themed.
wedding? Yeah.
Why do we assume it's fairy tale themed? Why do we
I
assume
don't
MSG is not just the party? And I don't know. Also, who doesn't love chicken tenders? Stop
I
judging.
love a chicken tendy. Love a chicken
That
tendy.
if I was at only weddings that served mini sliders, fries, and chicken tenders, I went to a
Ugh.
wedding personally where a friend had once said that it was his dream in life to have mini milkshakes served at his reception. And so they made it a reality. It was the best dessert spread. And he is one of the pickiest eaters I know, had the best food at their wedding because they were like, everybody's a little kid at heart, and we're not going to avoid that. And you know what?
It's
I would rather have that
it's
than
the
the rubber
best.
chicken.
100%. And I think about some of my favorite late night, because some weddings do the late night snack thing after you've had the traditional meal, whatever. And like, what if you don't like the actual meal? Then you're waiting for the late night. And you better
And then you're
deliver
that
with
drunk
the late
asshole
night.
because
Yeah.
you're just hitting up the like. Thankfully, most of my
Mhm.
friends were springing for those open bars. Like
Yeah.
you can. So that is
Yeah.
my rant on that. And but I just also, if you're not having an open bar at the wedding, you need to advise me of that in advance.
Yeah. Let me know because
I'm
I'm
not even
I'm
that big.
coming locked in.
I'm not big as a drinker, but I'm expecting if I'm going to a wedding, like that is my 2 or 3 times a year, to be an idiot.
Yeah.
Especially if
Also,
I'm not in the wedding, or especially if I am, both.
I am an adult who likes to go to bed at 9 p.m. So if I'm going to stay up past 9 p.m., I have to have a specific amount of libations in my system. And it has to be a very specific type because if I'm drinking red wine starting at 5 p.m., I'm out. I'm out by 9. I'm
She's
asleep.
sleepy.
I don't feel good. I'm sleepy. What's your wedding drink? Like what's the drink you're ordering at the bar?
Always, I mean, if it's a gay wedding, it's tequila soda with lime juice.
Ooh.
That is that is homosexual water. We call it gay water. It is. You can replace it with vodka. It is just smooth, easy, especially Casamigos. Just goes right down, and you could just keep pounding and still feel refreshed. If I am at a straight wedding, it is probably whiskey neat or on the rocks because I will sip it slowly and rather than just like go for it.
Why is there such a difference between your gay wedding drink and your straight wedding drink? Is the
I
vibe different?
The vibe is different.
I mean, obviously the vibe is different, but like for
I
you, is the vibe
also
different?
So for me at a straight wedding, I feel like I need to be more of I am the invite. I think I am the go-to perfect third tier. I'm gonna finish out rounding out this table with like Adam. Like I don't come with a plus one. I can be my own entertainment. I can be the rest of the dance floor's entertainment. If you want me to give a speech, sure, I'll poke one out my ass for a minute or two. Like I will start. I've been invited to a wedding specifically so I could start the whole and hold the bride's chair. She was not blunt about that. She did not like make and ifs or buts. And when that time came up, she screamed my name, and I knew I had that one job to do.
You're like,
So
this is what she paid for
the
my meal for.
only reason I was invited to this wedding was this one
Wow.
moment, and it was not one of my top weddings. So, do you know what? Like, I've accepted that my role, I do go to too many weddings as a result. So, yes, if I'm going to a straight wedding, I know you want me to show out. So, I'm going to make sure I'm hitting that right buzz level. So, just a steady little whiskey
Just a little
that's
sip.
just working in the system. That's going to get a little bit of the swing dancing. That's going to get a little
Mhm.
bit of the like choice timing, booty shaking, all the arm movements, the dancing
Those are
with
two very
grandma.
different styles of dancing.
Oh, yeah.
The
We
swing
get a
dancing
range
versus the twerking.
tequila soda, we're just dropping it to the floor. Like we're just
You're
going.
sweating. We're
Like we are
sweating.
sweating, we are
Yeah.
dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are okay with the fact that there will be some blotches of like, oh crap, I did do that last night. Like
Yeah. Whoops.
that's the
Yeah.
vibe.
Well, I'm glad to hear that I love a gay water. I'm a vodka soda girly through and through, and
Vodka.
it's so good. It's a vodka soda with a lime. And if you catch me at the end of the night, it sounds more like vodka soda lime. Vodka soda lime.
Tequila
Like
soda
what is
lime.
it? I don't know. Vodka soda lime. No, that's my wedding drink of choice because like you said, you can just drink it like water and I'm not going to feel like I've consumed so much sugar and then I just feel like I crashed. No, vodka soda is going to keep me on the dance floor and I'm not somebody who like traditionally I never knew how to swing. I've never known how to swing dance. I had to learn how to shag barely. I can't. I truly can't. My husband would tell you it's not good. It's
Also,
not
your
good.
husband being a great wedding dancer is
He's an amazing
also
wedding dancer.
he's the perfect amount of a wedding dancer.
Yes.
And
He
it
has some
is
Michael Jackson moves. He knows how to like shag appropriate. Like I never was taught how to dance. I don't know what I'm doing. And so if you're going to get me out there,
prom in
you better
Charleston.
have lubricated my insides. So
Samantha?
that's my rant. That's my rant. With alcohol.
Okay. One of my favorite DC traditions was this week, and it is the running of the interns. So, Sam, I know you'd heard of it, but you didn't know this was
Yeah,
like a thing as much as it
a
is.
thing.
And I have always wanted to do this, but also been simultaneously afraid of it. So, what this
You
is
wanted
like the
to run
Supreme
like
Court.
to be the intern running.
Absolutely. Like those AP
Okay.
Getty photos, like those are some iconic
Incredible.
snaps.
Like both feet off the ground,
Yeah, but I
galloping.
also knew like wearing like a suit, but also like hokas and just like sprinting. So what this is the Supreme Court still delivers their opinions via paper. So there is no like phones or anything allowed in the Supreme Court, only audio equipment, and that's only during like certain parts. So interns for these major news companies, the CNNs, the ABCs, CBS, et cetera, are in charge of running the decisions from the courthouse to their like anchors and correspondents that are right outside. It's like, I don't know, like from the front of the Supreme Court building down, like it's a sprint. It's a good sprinting distance. And so you see all these interns going as fast as they can to make sure they're stationed. Because if you're walking and going slow and you're trying to be an impressive person, which most people are as a DC intern, like you are booking it to make sure that like your correspondent
Run,
gets it.
babe.
And so it's called the running of the interns. Apparently, one of the most famous ones was with the gay marriage decision, Obergefell. And I have loved that tradition ever since. And looking at the photos, and it's just pure DC in like in a photo, like the raw ambition of these kids looking like this is simultaneously the worst and best time of their life while they are running a Supreme Court decision to a news reporter. And like, how is that archaic of a system still existing when we have so much else? I don't know if I love or hate
I
that.
love it. I'm like, it just preserves to me some element of, I think, like you said, like just the magic of like politics in DC. There is a little bit of that magic because there's so much gunk, obviously, that is there. So to have this like tradition that not only is about, I think, like teaching interns, hey, you gotta work for this. This is hard work. And you physically have to get this there before somebody else. It's gonna teach them something. I ran scripts as a reporter, like in a big
Same.
newsroom. And you know what that's like. It is high stakes. If the script is not in front of the anchor at the appropriate time in the appropriate color, I don't even know if they do that anymore, but like it has to be color coded. And if it was
Yep.
wrong and
It
you
has
were
to be on the
wrong,
blue paper, not the white paper, or the white paper, not the blue paper. Certain
mm-hmm,
anchors like uppercase versus lowercase. They like this spacing
mm-hmm.
versus that spacing. Fun fact, I think if I remember correctly, Anderson Cooper likes lowercase in his prompter, like
Really?
sentence
All
case.
lowercase?
I think sentence
Oh,
case.
sentence case. Oh, sentence case. I feel like I've done it both ways. I prefer,
I need
I
all
don't, I think,
caps.
yeah, I need all caps. I mean, I've done it both ways. I think in Columbia, wasn't it sentence case? It was sentence case. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember.
Yes. I think we
It
actually,
was
this was
definitely
like a
different.
whole issue because there was, yeah, I feel like this was a whole discussion we had at one point is what if we were doing all caps? Because some of y'all liked caps, some of you liked sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, and the
But
screen
then,
changed.
so having these archaic things is nice. And then there's also these like, whenever we get these big, so you know, this was like a big week for Supreme Court decisions. That is not my area of expertise. We will not talk about them. But with birthright citizenship,
Yeah.
trans kids playing in youth sports, those decisions came down. But then there was also at the end of the term, there's always that speculation about which justices are going to retire, because as we know, there's 9 justices. Each one is a lifetime appointment until essentially death or retirement. And then the sitting president gets to pick a new one. Trump has already gotten to pick so many that there is a majority of his and conservative and generally appointed justices on the court. So there was this idea that maybe somebody else was going to step down. NPR's like most iconic reporter, Nina Totenberg, who's their Supreme Court reporter, heard like that there was that Samuel Alito was going to be retiring. So heard that orally, misheard it apparently. NPR goes and reports it and then retracts it really quickly,
Quickly.
but still gets a lot of scrutiny for getting it wrong in the first place. And I think, Sam, you were the one that brought this up as like an interesting kind of note on where media is. What was your main thought?
My main thought was I don't even remember seeing the headline that NPR had misreported something, which to me, like, and NPR obviously syndicates to all of these other local radio stations. And so, and it's kind of like for a local TV station, if you're a CNN affiliate, you're going to take information, or an AP affiliate, CNN and AP drop this headline and you're like, okay, great, we can run with it.
We
It's
copy and paste.
copy and paste,
If you
able to
have that
report it.
sharing agreement.
Yes, if you have it. So like for NPR affiliate stations, essentially, you basically are able to say, well, NPR is reporting it, it's fact, which I think is like kind of a gray area too for us as journalists. Like it's hard because if you're not in DC as a reporter, you can't, you know, single-handedly confirm something yourself. But there is this rush and
It
this,
is a weird thing because
it
it's
is
like,
weird,
oh,
right?
does the AP have it? Like when big news breaks, like a death or something like that, and TMZ has it. Like there are certain Fox affiliates that do have a sharing agreement with TMZ. So when that stuff
Mm-hmm.
comes out on their website, it'll be like TMZ colon blah blah blah. But then we have to wait for like AP or Reuters or wherever who CNN's news source division to actually bring and send
Right.
out that headline. But yeah, you're right. It is one of those
Yeah.
things that we're just being like, we gave this whole
Yes, it's the trust factor. It's the idea that this is a reputable source and therefore whatever they say has been confirmed, double checked, so on and so forth. I
Mhm.
think what's interesting is NPR is that, like, to us, NPR is one of those where you're like, yeah, they're not going to get it wrong. But the reality is, it is still a newsroom of journalists and who are humans.
Humans.
So you're going to every so often, and it sounds like this was a simple she misheard. I wonder, I haven't seen what the actual, like what she
Also,
misheard,
Nina
but
Totenberg, and this maybe could also be a thing that like when you're someone with a name like that is one of those names that like she is one of the most well-known, discussed, well-accessed, well-historied with the court reporters on the Supreme Court. Just I have known her name for as long as I've done DC reporting. As like if Nina Totenberg says it, like it's gold. It's like very similar, like Maggie Haberman in the White House
Mhm.
vibes. So I think there
So it's like,
also
what
does
happened?
it's like she says she heard something and people mishear things. But the
Mhm.
great thing, and the thing that I note when people are like, oh, what media outlets do you trust? And I always say, I trust the ones that do corrections and
Mhm.
do them very clearly and quickly, because we are all going to make very stupid mistakes. Like I've seen it happen and but the systems and the good media organizations have a system to address that and to make sure that there's transparency moving forward. If you see somebody make a mistake and they just want to sweep it under the rug, then that's when I get really, really nervous, because I'm like, this should be so rare that you're willing to own up and say, we are human, we screwed up, we will avoid this happening again, we will review our systems. So I
Yeah.
love those. Like for me, I'm like, NPR still has a strong and quick system on how to fix these things and to publicize it and be transparent when it does. So NPR gained points in my book rather than
Yeah.
loses them, frankly.
And it's still a robust media organization, even given the
Layoffs.
fact that yeah, that the funding has been so dramatically cut. I mean, you listen to one of the NPR podcasts now, it's like the first thing they hit you with is like, please support NPR, funding has been cut. It's like the first thing they talk about. And so you just have to imagine layoffs. There's probably, we know this, that mistakes happen in newsrooms when one person is doing too many jobs, or when one person is tasked with being the messenger and there's no middle ground, and you don't have the several layers of checks. That's where mistakes happen, and that's the danger of continuing to cut and cut and cut. But I think back to what I was saying about the fact that so few outlets were talking about the misstep, there was just not this big jump by any right-wing media organizations initially to condemn it or to say that they were wrong. And I think the fact that nobody really jumped on it says something about how people are consuming traditional media, either not quickly enough, that's not their first source, or it's just so far down the list that it's not even on the radar for
I
people now.
I think that is 100% something, but I also think people don't always I think people look at some news and headlines with the idea now that there's a 15% chance that it is wrong, or that they have been like spoofed in some way, that it was just like
Mm,
a fake iteration of NPR, or they didn't even, I mean, I doubt any one of these kids here knows what NPR is. I mean,
yeah.
it's not, it's one of those information sources that the people that give other information distribute to. And that's what always makes me so nervous whenever we talk about people not paying attention to the more traditional quote unquote news outlets, is because we're still not seeing enough independent news outlets do original reporting and like gather those first facts. We're seeing a lot of them doing like what we're doing, talking about the news, talking about things that are happening, extrapolating, talking about how it maybe impacts them or other people, but actually finding the first fact and the first nugget in the first place is what those local NPR stations do that's so critical. So losing that destroys the second layer of media that people are listening to and trusting to. So I kind of, in its own way, like maybe I wish NPR was given a more vocal slap on the wrist, because then people are like, oh, but I don't know. Like we're talking to a subset of people that really already does support these kind of media companies. When
Hmm.
these, I don't know why, some kid told me the other day, they were like, I was listening to like a TikTok that was playing out loud, and it was from very clearly like Senator John Kennedy, the like very folksy senator from Louisiana. And this 18, 19-year-old's like, yeah, I love watching him on TikTok and all the stuff he says. Like, and so when I'm like, you know about this random Louisiana senator, like the fact that you know his name, I'm impressed with. Like, you're not from there, like, but just because it's just the stuff they're getting isn't organized in a front
Mhm.
page. A
Yes.
For You page is not a front page.
Right. The organization, and it goes back to the Taylor Swift story of like the nuggets and things being dropped. There's no centralized location for like, here's what we know. Here's everything that's confirmed. And it goes back to that first confirmation that you were talking about. That's the intern running from the Supreme Court. Like that's the
That is
first
that
level of
paper.
confirmation. That's the paper. And it's like you have so many layers of removal now. And this opinion article that we read about this NPR misstep. I love this line. I pulled it. It says, it's just possible that on an internet dominated by gambling sites, news influencers, propagandists, slop, and gossip, it is not nearly as scandalous as it once was to be colossally wrong for a few minutes. That just like blows my mind, because think about how much, if you were ever, even if you had, I don't know, if you misgendered someone in a story, or had one
Getting people's
detail
names
about
wrong.
something like that, like a detail, I
People
would
love their
beat
names.
myself. Yeah, I would beat myself up about that for days. And I'm sure, Totenberg is just like that's like what a jab, but that just sucks. But like thinking about that, it makes me worried about the level of scrutiny and editorial oversight that you're going to see going forward, and especially local newsrooms with younger reporters. I know I say that a lot,
Mhm.
but like that's what I worry about.
The important thing also, the Totenberg thing that we didn't mention, is the reason the article got out so fast after she just heard one
Mm-hmm.
thing is because there are so many pre-written articles for the purpose of getting them out quickly for big things that you know are going to happen. Usually we talk about it with obituaries. Like there is obituary folders and things ready at most major media companies for when certain famous people die, and that's just, or when certain big events are expected to happen. I'm sure like my friend who's the Taylor Swift reporter has it's confirmed Taylor's getting married at MSG
Right.
story written and ready and like almost ready to go, so you're ready when that moment hits that you feel confident. So
Yeah.
it's
And you're
like
just
how did
tweaking
the
it.
and so at that point it's kind of like maybe in that kind of situation we need higher levels, but like,
Yeah.
but that need to hit the trigger finger as fast as humanly possible, I don't know if that's still relevant considering there is going to be a bot that's faster to you than pushing out that headline. What you offer as Nina Totenberg isn't that headline. It is understanding what the heck it means and what happens if and when Alito does retire.
Yeah, the context 5 to 10 minutes. I know it's exhausting. The context 5 to 10 minutes later is so much more valuable. And I read that there was even a typo in that pre-written article that was pushed out. And it just goes to show that article, it did such a disservice to her name, to the NPR name. And it's unfortunate because, like you said, these people are experts. And to study the Supreme Court is like, it is so in depth. And
And
to
secretive.
understand the in secretive and to understand the inner workings, and also the layers that come with a retirement and how that could affect things coming down the pipe in the next year of decisions and who's in office and appointing. Like there are so many different layers that she is, I'm sure, an expert in. And so it just makes me sad that there is this push to hit, and I'm sure there was the push to hit the deadline. And and the sad thing about that is there is no deadline because it wasn't true. But at the end of the day, it was self-imposed. It's unfortunate.
And that happens. I mean, I remember, I think at CNN, they use the term all the time, play error free ball. And that is such a hard standard to put a newsroom at when you're pumping out. I mean, what's that? I heard once it's like we have more news that gets pushed out in like one day versus like all of time in history before the 1950s or whatever it is. Like it is like there is so much, there are going to be mistakes, but at the same time, to bring it full circle is like I'm looking at how the individuals and the companies respond to those mistakes now more than ever, because just simply admitting it and or just like changing the article quickly, I don't think does it anymore, because that something can live for 1 second. Clip farming, that you could take that one clip and that can live on. That one screenshot of that headline can have a whole different life.
Clip
But
farming. I can't. That was a really good way to put it. And my button on it is I will be looking for the coverage this upcoming week, as I'm sure like we will see more about NPR's response, Totenberg's response. I don't know if she's come out with anything yet, but I think it's going to be interesting to see what they say. I'll tell you.
all right.
I can tell you.
All right.
Are you ready? Are you prepared?
Do it.
It's another boy.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Again,
No, I'm so excited.
What response am I supposed to have? It's like, yay, it's not a girl. That's weird.
Yay. Yeah, I know. A
Or
lot
like,
of people have been commenting like, oh, I hope it's a girl. And I'm like, but that's a weird thing to say.
like hoping for either one of them. I feel uncomfortable. I'm just happy, like, like 5 fingers, 5 toes, like that kind of thing. It's like,
yes. 10 hopefully of each would be appropriate. Yes, I am thrilled. And I think you have the perfect appropriate response, which is like healthy baby is what you want. And so we've known it's a boy since, I'm trying to think. Oh no, we found out, I'll share the video before this comes out. We found out on Mother's Day. We did like a little gender reveal with my mom, Logan's mom, one of my brothers, my dad. We were all at the beach together for Mother's Day. And Teddy, of course, was there. And none of us knew. My best friend Claire knew. And so she had a cake ordered and we picked it up and we did like a whole gender reveal, which was so fun. And we all found out together, which was cool because the first time with Teddy, we just opened the email because we just didn't really know. And it was just like a quick thing you clicked through and we're like, oh, it's a boy. And then we just called everyone. But yeah, 2 boys. I am about to be just completely outnumbered and overrun. 1 boy is exhausting. 2 boys will be double the exhaustion in the best way. But the way that we're just so excited to have brothers.
I'm
so excited.
He's about to lose it.
He's going to lose his mind. He's so excited. He says baby brother, and he talks about the baby in mama's button and mama's tummy. And it's really cute. It's just going to be adorable. They'll be about right around 2.5 years apart. So it's like perfect age. Perfect
I don't know why
age.
I consider that perfect, but that 2 to 3 year gap. I mean, my brother and I are 5 years apart. I think we became, friends when I started getting into my 20s, and we were kind of in the same stage of life. Because like 5 years apart as a kid, it's like you're in college when I'm in high school, middle school, whatever. So 2.5, 2 is like just the amount where it's going to be a lot of fighting, but probably also a lot of friendship, and that's really cute.
Teddy has so many like little boy friends in our neighborhood, and seeing him with like other boys, some a little older, some younger, it's like you can just tell he is going to have it's going to be the best time. And obviously it's nerve-wracking for us to add a second and to know like how is that transition going to go for everyone. But at the end of the day, he is going to love having a little brother.
Oh, yeah.
I know at the end of it all.
I can't wait to like see pictures of like Logan doing like t-ball, like running t-ball practice, or like soccer or whatever the
it's going to be so cute.
Choice will be. It will
as many of them as possible.
Now I want 5 more. He gets a whole team.
We're on our way to a team. And so now the question is like, when you have a second and you have the same gender, do you then try for a third? Like, I know people are like, oh, I'll try for the third in hopes of a girl, whatever. And Adam's like, no.
You have 2 healthy kids, you take the W and you move on.
Because here's the risk of having a third is you could pop out another boy, and that would still be great. And I would love that. So it's just going to be more of a, once we have 2, are we good? Or do we keep going? I don't know. Do I want 7? I don't know. No, I don't want 7. But I could see.
Want 7.
No, I can tell you my body definitely doesn't want 7. This pregnancy has made me I'm much more tired this time than I was the last time. And that's even having worked, early mornings during my last pregnancy. And I feel more like general fatigue this pregnancy. So I also feel bigger earlier, but that's a whole discussion for another time.
Okay,
Just
also
beached whale
beached whale. Different
out by my
discussion.
pool. Truly. That's what I no, actually, that's what I've been this last 3 to 4 days has been a beach whale out by my pool. And I am wearing the bikini. I don't give a flying, you know what? I'm like belly out. That's in Miami. They were like, wow, look, I was with another pregnant friend and we kept getting comments at the pool. They're like, wow, both of them are pregnant. And I'm just like belly out.
Good.
Don't
Let it.
care. Let it
Mm-mm.
hang. Just release the belly.
And while you're doing that, I'm still having like existential breakdowns randomly at a Jewish summer camp. So there, you could be doing different things in your early 30s. Like you could either
Yeah.
be feeling like, here's the thing,
Why are we having an
realize
existential breakdown?
my brain wants something to be stressed about still. And so
Mhm.
I am getting caught up in like early 20 somethings dramas and like how they perceive me and all of these things way more than I should. And that I know is logical because I'm like, there has to be an emergency. Like I'm meeting all of my deadlines. My direct manager is happy and encouraging and kind to me in my work. I have a couple people I hang out with here. I've got a nice routine going, so something must be going wrong. And I've tried identifying it as me not being social enough, which it is a summer camp and I'm constantly surrounded by people.
I was going to say, you are the most social person I know.
Correct. So, yes. So that is existential crisis of said moment. I don't know if I'm going to keep that one in. That didn't feel like it was going anywhere. I just wanted to rant.
But you know what? To your point, there are so many different ways to do your early 30s. And I actually really resonate with the feeling of having to find something to stress about. I have found myself lately when I am putting Teddy down for a nap and I'm like, great, I have this 2 hour window where I can just like relax. I could sit down. And I mean, there's many other things I need to be doing, but if I needed to take a beat, I could take a beat. And I'm like trying to find things to do. And like, I'm like, I don't want to sit down because then I have to get back up. It's like you just keep yourself in that like stress mode because you think that that's where you're supposed to live.
My dad yesterday on the phone literally asked me, he was like, "Are you overthinking?" And I was like, "Yeah, every now and then I'm thinking about childhood and next steps in my career. And maybe I've applied for a job or two while I've been here." And my dad's like, "Why? Just stop thinking. Just stop." And I was like, "Huh." And then I was like, thinking about it. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not really solving any problems right now.
Thinking about not thinking.
So now I'm spending a lot of time trying not to think. So I keep an air. I'm using my old IFB. Like I had one of those Bluetooth skin toned IFBs, and I'm
Yeah,
keeping it in my ear, and I'm playing an audio book pretty much while I'm running around camp and taking pictures. I've got two
I
going
love
right
that.
now,
What are you
and
listening
it's
to?
been so I'm listening to, oh my God, Sam, the best audiobook I have listened to in such a long time. This was made for audio format. It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl. It is a role playing kind of book. Like it's not like choose your own adventure, but the voices and stuff for the audiobook are next level. And it's just told in a way that feels like I am watching a movie, like an auditory movie. It's amazing. And then I'm also listening to George Washington's biography by Ron Cherry.
As one does.
So I've got like a fun book going and a heated rivalry in Spanish to up my Spanish. But
Ooh.
that's a reading, not an audiobook.
Someone told me that I should be having Teddy watch cartoons in another language, if like just to get him starting to think about another language. And I was like, that actually might be good because then I could learn. And Spanish is the obvious one.
It's a good choice. I'm hearing it so like no matter where I am, like the amount of times I'm feeling like I'm pulling out Spanish, like not again, my Spanish can get me by, but it's like nothing to write home about.
It's
That
way
I'm like,
better than mine.
yes, I would hope so.
Yeah,
I've
it's
spent a
way,
lot of
yeah.
time and money on it for it
Yeah,
not to
yeah,
be
yeah,
better
yeah.
than like the average Bostonians right now.
And I'm not even, I would be beyond below average.
But yeah, I started watching like Spanish telenovelas, like they're modern telenovelas and stuff. I
I
think
need
we
a
should
telenovela in my life. A
you
pregnant telenovela. Am I
oh my
going to
God, you
cry?
absolutely. Like Spanish
Fantastic.
telenovelas on Netflix exist. Like literally Google like
Great.
modern Spanish telenovelas. There's a million.
Oh,
Wait,
I
have you
can't
not seen
wait.
House of Flowers?
No,
Casa de Flores? Sam,
no.
this is one of the best TV shows. Oh my god, there's no way I keep this in the final
And
edit,
it's
but
in
it's called yeah, it's in Spanish. It's called Casa de Flores. It is about a family. It is an amazing Mexican TV show on
okay, it's all in
Netflix.
Spanish.
It's all in Spanish, but do it with English subtitles and play it with Teddy
Okay.
around.
Hallelujah. Okay, you want to finish us on some good news?
Let's finish it on some good
Do we
news.
do we have some?
I did. Yes, I found my very America friendly good news story that
Yay.
I'm actually really excited about. So the headline is Rare Copy of Declaration of Independence found by UK National Archives and pages of a cat in a captured US ship. So it is a
Ooh.
volunteer. So they found, it reads, Michael Skur has been volunteering at Britain's National Archive for the last 11 years, spending his Thursday mornings painstakingly cataloging documents for the benefit of future researchers. Then one day last May, the retired insurance executive made a discovery of his own while sifting through the letters of an 18th century Royal Navy captain. There was attached to a report on the capture of the American privateer Dalton on Christmas Eve, 1776, was an enclosed and identified only as another paper. Carefully unfolding the document, Skur stopped when he saw the word declaration printed across the top. I thought, oh, okay, this is definitely a Declaration of Independence. So what they've surmised is when they were like giving out the orders, they gave out some copies of it's just one of the 11 original copies of the so-called Exeter printing of the Declaration that are known to exist and the only
What?
one identified outside of the US. And so, yeah, it was one of the ones to spread the news. It was one of the copies to spread the news. And it was just listed as like
What?
another paper. So it's one of the like 11 original prints.
Could you imagine coming across that as like a human being? You're like,
It just like
just
being in a basement of some like British like library. I mean, an amazing library. But yeah, and finding the
wow.
Declaration of Independence. So I don't know if someone was saving this story to come out on like July 2nd, but the timing was amazing. And yeah, and then they have all these quotes about how it's this connection to history, blah, blah, blah. But just
Wait,
stumbling
that's so
upon,
cool.
and that also kind of made me realize it's like, wow, like 300 years, like 250 years, not that long.
It's
Like,
not. A lot's happened in that time.
yeah, we screwed up a lot of things, and also nothing has kind of happened. Like from the global
Yeah.
level, really not much. Anyway, not enough with
A
like
rant for
super.
another time.
It's enough with those shower thoughts. So that is the good news I will leave us on.
I love
Before
that good news.
it will
That's a
be
really
post
good
4th of
one.
July when you hear it, but
Yeah. It'll be post 4th of July when you hear this and you hear us talking about Taylor and Travis's alleged potential wedding. And so it'll be really funny to see how this episode ages. But we don't know.
maybe
I mean,
not
we don't
well.
know. We
We don't
don't
know.
know.
We'll figure it out.
We don't know.
All right,
Listen,
bye,
and then we'll have a lot to talk about next week. Love ya.
Sam.